Okay. Again, just getting set up, and then we are about to get started. Okay. So in today's video, we are going to be going over a bunch of information about the equipment and gears in this game, and why they're important, and I mean, honestly, so much, I don't even know where to begin. You have 35 minutes. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and talk about gears. We're going to start out on the gears that I have on my player, and then a little bit later in, we will go ahead and move into the gears that I have on my pets. So you have two different kinds of gears. You have your regular equipment, and then you have your decorative equipment. Your decorative equipment gives you different looks and gives you some stats as well, but usually not as good of stats you're going to get on your main armor. I can actually turn off my deco gear and still get those stats, and you'll see that my regular armor that I'm wearing is now showing, which this is the New Sea Lights set. With the, what's that, the Obsidiker cloak? Yeah, Obsidiker spine cloak. But honestly, I kind of like the way that this Rudolph set looks, so I don't have a reason to turn it off. I think it looks pretty cool. Anyway, so you have a spot for a helmet, for a face mask, for your main chest piece, for a cloak, for gloves, for boots, and then you have two slots. Either you can have a one-handed weapon and a shield, or you can have a two-handed weapon. I am using a one-handed staff, and I am using a mage wall, which is effectively a shield, but instead of giving defensive stats, it gives attack stats. It gives offensive stats. Very offensive. So, few things that we need to know about these is each of these, regardless of like what chest plate you're using, what gloves you're using, and so on, are going to have different stats. Now, most armors in this game, especially at higher levels, are going to be part of sets, where if you have the full set, then you get the set bonus, which you can see in purple: strength, vitality, agility, dexterity, int, wisdom, p attack, m attack, plus 15% because I have the Devil Dim armor set. This is the New Sea Lights armor set. There's a higher level set called the Fluminous, and then I believe it goes into Reviac armor, something like that. But I get those stats in purple, the plus 15% and the plus 5, just for owning all the set, regardless of what level they are, regardless of whatever enhanced level they are. Now, you'll also see that this one has where it says random effects in purple. Basically, you can use their special scrolls depending on whether it's an armor or a weapon or accessory. There's different items used to do it, but you give these different random stats to your armor, and depending on what kind of armor it is, you can have different values of stats. So this one will give like physical defense 913, magical defense 988, and magical accuracy 246. Honestly, for me, that's not really that great. I would prefer like intelligence, crit power, strength, because I'm a master breeder and I give those stats to my pets. I'm sorry, give me 1 second here. Come on. I don't know. I'm trying to keep my Twitch stream open on my phone, and right now it's not really wanting to work. That's how I'm able to monitor this and make sure that everything's actually going good. And right now it is just being kind of a brat to me. Okay, here we go. I think I fixed it. Anyways, so those are extra stats that you can add on to your armors, your weapons, your accessories, all that fun stuff. And you'll also see where it says character skill Master Breeder +1 potency. So once you get to higher levels, you're going to need parallel world armor. I mentioned it in my stream the other day, but in the parallel world, you can find different kinds of armor from killing the different bosses. They'll drop them, and there's 4 different classes of them for the 4 different kinds of classes you have in the game. You have like summoner armor, you have magician armor, you have like warrior armor, you have like hunter armor for the different classes. And if you like, this would be summoner armor because I am a summoner. Summoner is going to be for the 3 pet classes. I'm Master Breeder, so I'm a pet class. Specifically, it has potency, which is a skill for Master Breeder for my class. In fact, potency is the best skill that you can get on any of your armor pieces for the parallel world gear. Now, only parallel world gear can get the plus skills. None of the other stuff can. That's what makes the parallel world gear special, is it can increase your class skill. And since I have the set, I have the boots that have it. Helmet can't get it, but you have the chest piece, the gloves, and the boots that each get it, so that's +3 to that specific skill, and that specific skill happens to be the best one for Master Breeder because that's the one that allows your primary pet to give your secondary pet bonus stats based on its HP and MP. Basically, that's why my Ethereal Pixie is able to supercharge my Wind Pixie and make it deal so much damage. It's not even funny. But yeah, so you can awaken and put a character skill on the Parallel World Gear armor. And then from there, you can enhance it and then sacrifice another Parallel World Gear armor piece along with these crystals of Devildom that you find inside of the Devildom dungeon while you're farming, or you can just buy the black crystal boxes off of other people. You open them up and you get these crystals. You combine the crystals. You spin the crystals at I believe it's a blacksmith in Catan, and you're able to make your parallel world gear that is class bound go to New Sea Light's armor. New Sea Light's armor is higher level, so it has better stats and gives you a better set bonus than the parallel world gear does. And it's also universal, meaning anyone, no matter what their class, could wear this instead of being a summoner only. Now, of course, only people with potency can still get the benefit of potency, which means only a Master Breeder is going to want this armor to be able to wear for themselves. Unless you're using it as a pet gear because you like the random effects, because it has plenty of crit or plenty of int or whatever stat it is you're trying to stack on your pet, depending on what pet it is and what class you are. Now, at the bottom, you will see that there are 3 little squares that say empty. Those are where you put items called soul stones. And soul stones give you bonus stats. Chest plates can have up to 4 on them, and then boots and gloves can have up to 3 of these soulstone on them. And as they have more on them, so like this 3 soulstone, this 3 slot armor, if I had a 4 slot armor that was the exact same thing, like level 1 potency, the 4 slot would be worth more. The trade-off for that is if you take the one less and have one that has 3 on it, you can get slightly better stats from the random effects. You can get like an extra stat on there. You're not guaranteed to get it. It's RNG, but you have the possibility to get an extra stat on there that's nice. But with the cash shop, enhanced teardrops, That's a soul stone that you can buy from the cash shop. They actually give more raw stats than that extra like random stat you can get would give. So it's really more worth it to when you're trying to optimize, go ahead and get the most slots on there. So 4 slots for your main armor, 3 slots for your gloves, 3 slots for your boots. Now, I've mentioned before that all of the armor and weapons and fun stuff like that in the game has levels and has enchantment levels. Um, so with your main armor, your helmet, your chest plate, your gloves, and your boots, you can get them to enchantment level plus 25. Oh yeah, as well as your belt plus 25. And doing so has very special benefits. The helmet, if you get it to plus 20 or plus 21, will give you plus 1 to all of your skills and decrease the cooldown time of all of your skills by 10%. At plus 22 and plus 23, it will give you plus 2 to all of your skills. This includes your passive skills and does not include your talent point skills. And decreases the cooldown time of all your skills by 15%. And then at level 24 and level 25, it gives you plus 3 to all of your skills and decreases the cooldown time of all skills by like 20%. So mine's level 22. If I get it to level 24, not level, I'm sorry, to enchantment level 24. If I get it to enchantment level 24, then I'll get an additional plus 1 to all of my skills on top of the plus 2, so that'd be plus 3. And instead of 15% cooldown time of my skills, it would be like 20% cooldown time of all my skills, which I'm Master Breeder. I don't really care about the cooldown time. I care about that plus 3 to all skills because my pets get stronger because of my passives. So when my passives get an extra plus 1 to all of them, that makes my pets even stronger, makes them even more effective. So it's plus 22. I need to work on getting it to plus 24. Now my chest piece, I don't really care about too much. Once you get it to like plus 20 to like plus 25, it starts to give you more max HP and more max MP. It's definitely nice, but for me specifically, it's not really that great because Master Breeder won't be taking the hits from the mobs anyway, so you don't need the extra health. And I never even like use any of my MP. Like even when I have all of my like my buffs and stuff going, I have so much natural MP regen. I'm never going through all of that, so that's not really too terribly important for me. The gloves plus 20 to plus 25 will give you plus attack speed and plus cast speed, which again, I'm not really going to be using most of my abilities. My pets are going to be doing all the work, so I don't really need cast speed because it won't affect my pets, and it won't do anything for me. Same thing with attack speed. I'm not really going to be attacking for the most part, so I don't really need to worry about getting that up on this character. Now, obviously on like a, maybe like a warrior class or something, or even like a mage class, that would be pretty good, but for me, not really. Now, what really is great for me that I definitely already have plus 25 is the boots. From plus 20 to plus 25, you get a decrease, decreases the duration of all debuffs that are put on you, which is really nice, but also increases the ability of your creatures. And at plus 25, you get 60% of the increased ability of creatures, and that is all of their base stats. So that means that my creatures, since I have this plus 25 boots on, are 60% stronger, 60% better than if I didn't have them. Your weapons and your shields and stuff can go up to plus 25, but they don't get like the special effects like your main armor does. But it's still worth it to get them upwards of plus 25 because it will give them way more durability. The more durability you have, the less often you have to repair it, so you don't have to worry as much that it's going to break while you're out in the middle of farming. But on top of that, it's also going to give it a whole bunch more damage. And, I mean, I shouldn't have to explain that damage is good. Same thing with, like, your shield or with your mage wall. Most decorative equipment cannot be leveled up, cannot be enhanced. There is some decorative equipment, like mine, where I'm able to unlock the purple random effect stats on it, but most of it, especially the cash shop stuff, is going to just be a flat out like plus 1% to all stats. stuff like that, like the wings plus 4% to like all stats. But once you get higher level in the game, and you get to the Devildom dungeon, like level 200 dungeon, and you get to the dungeons past there, and to the Volcanus dungeon, you can actually craft specific deco gear from those. You farm and you get a bunch of these required craft materials, and then you can make them and level them up, and they'll give you some better stats. I'm not currently able to do that. I can only farm the first 2 stages of Devildom. There's 6 stages, and it's 4 through 6 that really give the better drops. I can only do 1 through 2. I need to improve my gears and make my pet stronger before I can really start doing that. That's what I've been focusing on. Oh yeah, also, alongside the helmet and the chest plate and the gloves and the boots, your belt, when equipped, enhanced, will increase the ability of the cards that you have on here. So your belt allows you to be able to have 3 boss cards and have 5 pets equipped to your belt to passively increase your stats. Depending on what stats you need, you can get different boss cards, different pets. It starts out with only 1 slot unlocked, and you have to unlock all 8 slots. And then you can equip the different pets to it that'll give you the different stats. Now, it starts out, I believe you can only get upwards of like plus 20 or plus, yeah, like plus 20 or something like that to any given stat. So if you have a belt pet that gives like plus 30 to a stat, you're only going to get plus 20 to it. And this is percentage based. But at plus 25 on your belt, your boss cards will have an extra 35% on their stats, and any belt pet that you put on here will be able to increase that stat by upwards of 35%, which means that if you have something that gives like a plus 30 and you have another one that gives like a plus 5, you'll get to use all plus 35 of those percentage points of that stat towards your stat instead of being stuck at only plus 20% to your stat. So getting your belt up to plus 25 enchantment level, very important. I actually just got my belt to plus 25 the other night. It was plus 23 before that, and at that point I could only do it by like 25%. But now that I have it at 35, I have my intelligence stat at plus 35%. And intelligence is very important on both my Ethereal Pixie and my Wind Pixie, so I just increased all of their damage by an extra 10% by doing that. Now again, I am still in the process of needing to work on my belt pets. I spent all my money in game on getting that to plus 25. I've been farming a lot today. I'm currently at like 800 million rupees left. I went down to like 1 million rupees. So I've gotten that 800 million rupees by farming in Rhoda today. I showed y'all me farming the other day, and my kill speed's gotten a little bit better. I'm not going to say that it's like so hugely incredibly better that I can go do all the harder level stuff now, but it's definitely a little bit more efficient than it was in my previous video. So the next thing I need to worry about is the strength stat, because I give as a master breeder int, strength, and crit to my pets. I need to maximize my strength to my pets, which will also help with my carrying capacity, because when I've been farming, I've been noticing after about like 20-25 minutes, I'm actually hitting 100% weight, and I'm having to leave, go back to town, sell stuff, donate stuff, put stuff in my warehouse, and then go back and farm. So if I increase my strength, I'll be able to carry more max weight, means I'll be able to farm for longer periods of time, makes it more effective. So not only will it make my pet stronger, it will make my ability to collect stuff a lot better. Okay. Now, we also have on our main character, we have our accessories, we have a necklace, we have 2 earrings, and we have 2 rings. Now, depending on what class you are, there's different stats you'll want to maximize, different things you'll want to use. But by having the Yeshiva's blue necklace, the Yeshiva's belt, and the Yeshiva's earrings, I also get the Yeshiva's accessory set, which gives me plus 30 to the stats you see: strength, vitality, agility, dexterity, intelligence, wisdom. I get plus 10% crit rate, strength, vitality, agility, dexterity, and wisdom, another plus 70. 5,000 to my defenses, and another plus 10% to my crit rate, and I also get a permanent buff that decreases damage that I receive by 10%. I did use an awakening. There's like a stone that you can use called the awakening stone, and it works only on accessories, and it'll give you the stats that are the blue. So this one is giving me extra crit rate, extra physical defense, extra cast speed, and then when you use the random effects on this accessory, this one reduces damage received by any kind of mecha by 15%, and I also get an additional 11 cast speed. Honestly, I'm only using this really because of the set bonus. I should probably, one of the things I need to do is I need to get earrings that have better random effects and the better awaken bonuses, because they'll all give me the same set bonus. So I don't have to worry about losing those, but I could probably use more intelligence than anything else on these. This one gives me a little bit of evasion, 9 crit power. That 9 crit power is actually not too bad. Kind of nice, because crit power actually transfers over to my pet, so by having it makes them a little bit stronger. But I would like to find something with more crit power and definitely intelligence on it. These rings are both giving me +5 to creature mastery, so I'm getting +10 skill level to creature mastery, which is on Master Breeder, and increases my pet stats by like 3% for every level. Their max HP, their max MP, their stuff like that, actually. It's now going to annoy me until I see level 2. Yeah, HP attack, defense, HP regen, 3% per level, so that's like an extra 30% to all that fun stuff for having those 2 rings. And then these rings are giving me a little bit of movement speed, like +2 movement speed, +5 crit power. Honestly, that's not a really good ring for the awaken bonuses. I mean, I need to get one that gives me more intelligence and more crit power. Crit power +5 is kind of low. This one gives me 6 intelligence and 4 crit power. I don't really care about the PDEF and the dexterity and the accuracy. So again, a lot of the gears I'm using aren't really optimized. They're not really the best. I'm just kind of focusing on one thing at a time. Trying to do what I can to improve my stats little bit by little. So again, I'm not, like, none of these are, like, the worst of the worst. None of this stuff is, like, this is, like, really horrible. But none of it's, like, really, oh, yeah, this is, like, amazing. This is really great. And even with just using kind of stuff that's kind of, like, average or maybe slightly better than average here or a little bit worse than average there, I'm still able to do pretty decent. I'm just not quite where I want yet. But that'll come over time, because eventually I'll get everything to level 40 plus 25 and be fully decked out with the perfect awaken stats and the perfect random stats, and I'll have all the soulstone slots that I need, and I'll have all the enhanced teardrops that I'll buy from other players, the cash shop ones that give you like the most stats, and I'll just min-max everything and all that good fun stuff. Now that is for what I have on my character. We're going to look at how the pet equipment works. Now, pets get these 7 slots on top, and these bottom slots don't do anything. I've heard that in some other regions, not in North America, that they actually have access to all 14 slots. But on, unfortunately, the North American servers, we only get access to the 7 slots. Those bottom slots have never been available for us. Yeah. But you get you get basically an armor, your chest piece, you get either a mage wall or a shield, you get an accessory, whether you want that to be a ring or a necklace or an earring. They each have their own benefits and disadvantages. You get 2 artifacts, which I'll go over artifacts in just a little bit. You get a weapon, and you have a slot for the belt. Now, one thing of note, unfortunately, is that none of the awakened effects on the armor and gears and stuff like that. So, like, let's say I had, like, this was awakened, and it gives me plus max HP and max MP. If I put it on me, that would be nice. If I put it on my pet, it won't actually get that plus MP or HP. Same thing with, like, my helmet that gives me, like, +3 to all my skills. If I put my helmet on my pet, it wouldn't get that +3 to all skills. So it's really worthless to put a helmet instead of a regular chest piece on there, on your pet. The Yeshiva's belt, though, will give the +1 to all pet skills, or at least mostly all pet skills. So that's why you put a belt on there, because it doesn't really give too terribly much great stats by itself, other than the fact it gives you +1 to everything else on your pet, which is really nice. But the Yeshiva's belt is the only belt to do that. It's crafted using a bearskin belt and some other materials. The bearskin belt will not give you that +1, has to be Yeshiva's. And these things go, again, 30 bill a pop, give or take, for fresh. You can also find them in the Devildom dungeon around stage 5, stage 6 when you're killing the boss, but they have such an incredibly low drop chance that most people either craft them or buy them from other people who were incredibly lucky to find one or craft them. Take a lot and a lot and a lot of materials to craft. It'll take a good while of farming to do it. Yeah. As I was saying over here, the accessories, the rings tend to give the best flat-out stats. So if you're looking for damage, then the rings are going to be the way to go. The earrings, the Yeshiva earrings, have passives that will actually like give damage reduction from certain type of monsters. And there's one that's not as common, but gives you like flat-out 1% damage reduction against everything. Instead of only being against mechas or only spirits or only humans. So those are better for tanks. And the necklaces will give you extra bonus damage based on race. So like bonus damage to mecha, bonus damage to beast, bonus damage to spirit. But unfortunately there's not one that gives you plus bonus damage to like everything, unlike the earrings that gives you the damage reduction. So rings typically tend to be the most popular option for that, because you can just, like this one, I'm using on my Wind Pixie. It gives it plus 20 evasion, it's giving it plus 50 intelligence, it's giving it plus 18% crit power, plus an additional 18 crit power, just good raw stats, so that's why the rings tend to be pretty popular. But again, depending on what pet you have and what class you're playing, you might want to switch that ring out for earrings or for a necklace. But rings are just pretty good. Then you have what are called these pet artifacts. They are bound to you, so you can't sell them, you can't buy them from other people, but effectively you go over to the Enchanter, which in Horizon the Enchanter is over here, and you have to buy these artifact fragments, and once you find, it's like, honestly, it's been so incredibly long since I've done this, but I believe when you're farming, you get what are called these like artifact boxes, and if you bring an artifact from that artifact box that you find with the artifact fragment thing that you buy, then they'll give you one of these fragments randomly. So this one gives like plus 4% P attack, plus 5% HP recovery, critical power, plus 20% attack speed, cast speed. And then you can equip those to your pets right here. You get 2 slots for them, and artifacts are the only thing that can go there. That's what it's for. If you go through the parallel world, you can find artifacts that are blank. They're white. And what you do is you can find this item, which I might have a couple in my warehouse. Warehouse has a bunch of just like random stuff in it. Oh wait, I have a little under 8 minutes in the buff. These Power of Change artifact, if you combine this with one of those white artifacts that you get as a drop from the parallel world, instead of giving you stats, it'll give +1 to a random creature skill, and if your creature happens to have that skill, you can put that artifact on there and it will increase that skill level by 1. Pretty nice. Unfortunately, none of the 7 newest pets, that's the Ethereal Pixie, the Wind Pixie, Hector, Death Gladiator, Crystal Golem. Man, what are the other 2? I don't know. But the 7 newest pets that were added back in like January, or not January, like a year or 2 ago. Anyways, I'm sorry, I'm getting off track. The 7 newest pets in the game that everyone wants, basically. don't have any skills in that pool. So if you're using one of the 7 newer pets, the Project 7 pets that I went over in the pet explanation video, then those are going to be worthless to you. But if you're using one of the older pets or even like a soul pet, then they can be pretty nice. And yeah. Now, earlier I was talking about like the parallel world gear and how you start out with the parallel world gear. So when you have the parallel world gear, which is going to, here, let's go back to my warehouse. I know I have some like random stuff in there. Got the boots here. You have the chest pieces and everything. So effectively what you do is you take 2 pieces and you have to have this little orb thing. I don't know if I have any left. It's like this like little blue kind of like ball. It looks like a stone. Aha, this thing. You use this and you sacrifice 1 piece of gear to the other gear, and there's a chance it will fail. It'll probably fail a few times before it actually works properly. You'll need a few. But once it works, you will then be able to enchant it. Will enhance it, I should say. And you'll be able to give it the random effects, and you'll also be able to give it the character skill, and it'll show you, it'll automatically be assigned a number of slots, like 2 to 4 slots for the main armor, and then like 2 to 3 for the boots and the gloves. And once you are ready, you are able to, you have to be wearing it, which means that you have to be at the limit level to be able to wear the armor. You take it to Catan to, I believe, it's their blacksmith, and you trade in those crystals that I showed you earlier, and you're able to make it into New Sea Light's armor. Once you turn it into New Sea Light's armor, you can no longer get rid of the effects that are on it, or the character skill. So let's say that you get a character skill on it and you're like, oh, that's not the one I wanted, or oh, hey, I got these random effects, I don't like them. There are items you can use to take those away so that you can reawaken it, so until you get the stats you want. Once it becomes New Sea Lights, those stats are on there permanently. You can no longer remove those or take those off. So that means that this armor right here will always have this potency skill on it. It will always have those random effects. There's no way to be able to re-roll these now that they've been turned into New Sea Light's armor. After New Sea Light's armor, which is like level like 175 to like level 180, I don't know, it's all like limit level 175. You can do the same process, basically, go back to the merchant, not the merchant, go back to the blacksmith, turn in the crystals, you have to be wearing the armor, and you can make it into Fluminous armor. Fluminous armor is going to have better stats on it, like better base stats, because it's going to be a higher level armor. It runs between level 180 and like level 185. So if I turn this stuff into Fluminous, I can only turn, I think it's like the main chest piece is like limit level 180. And then between the helmet, the gloves, and everything else, like level like 185 to be able to wear those and to turn those in. And that'll give you better stats. So that's one of the things I need to do for myself is I need to level up to like 185 so I can go ahead and turn in and get the Fluminous set, which the Fluminous set will give better set bonus on top of the better stats per piece. And while I'm on that, both of these, my pixies, my level 201 pixie, my level 190 pixie, are using the New Sea Lights armor set. If I were to make these Fluminous, it would have better natural stats, which would be better for them. So I definitely need to get them Fluminous armor. I need to get them armor that has 4 slots with the random effects that I want on there that are going to be better for them. And then once I basically have it perfected, that's when I might just buy the stuff. Sometimes it's cheaper to just buy it pre-made than trying to make it yourself, because you can spend so much money to keep reawakening something and then taking away its stats, reawakening and re-rolling and re-rolling and re-rolling endless times to never get what you want. RNG in this game will either reward you or it will greatly punish you. But that is part of the challenge, and it can be, kind of fun sometimes, but other times you're like, yeah, it's just a huge money sink. Now, arguably, money sinks are very important in games. But yeah, So I fully intend, this staff right here is almost basically perfect. I just need to get it to plus 25, level 40. If I can find one that gives max MP instead of max HP, that has otherwise the same stats, 84 int, the 48% MP recovery, and 39% or 40% crit power, because 40% is the best. I'm only off by by literally 0.4. Then I'll do that. Otherwise, that's a pretty good staff. This mace, which is a hammer, is actually not bad. It has 40% crit power, which is the most. It has plus 6% agility, plus 6 dexterity, P attack, M attack. That stuff's okay. I would try to find one that has higher evasion on it with the 40% crit power and the 6% agility. Maybe a little bit more P attack and a little bit more M attack, but honestly, that's just from the random effects. It's actually really not a bad weapon. Like, that's actually pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's not too terribly far off from perfect. So that would be me just being picky and trying to get absolute perfection if I were gonna swap that out for another one. This ring is actually pretty nice. From the random effects, it'll give you a base stat at plus 50 is the highest, and like plus 20 is like the lowest, or something like that. And that one gives intelligence, which is exactly what I want. So that's already pretty good. Evasion 36.5. That could be just a tiny bit higher, not by much. The critical power could also go a little bit higher. I think it goes up to 25%. So if I found one that gave intelligence 50% and critical power 25% and maybe 40 evasion from the random effects, that would be pretty good. But the awakened bonuses on here are pretty good. 20 evasion and 14 critical power. The 2 strength is kind of nil, but you know, is what it is. So this is pretty good. I need to find another one. I need to find a ring for my Ethereal Pixie. Again, I am down to like 811 mil. So I will need to save up, because the rings, if they have like really good stats, I mean, I think the most expensive I've seen these rings go for is like 15 to 20 bill, but that's when they have like absolute min-maxed everything perfect. You can find some pretty good rings, probably better than this one, for about 10 to 15, and then you can find some bill, and then you can find some decent ones that are a little bit worse than this, but still pretty good, for around like 5 to 6 bill. Maybe they'll only have like one perfect stat on it, and then everything else is just kind of eh. But this one, is actually pretty nice. I didn't pay too terribly much for it, so I'm pretty happy with it. And then if I find one that's has the same stats but a lot better, then I'll swap it out. But I need to actually farm a lot more, make more money before I can worry about that. But, of course, the funny thing is that getting the better armor and stuff will make my farming a lot more efficient, so I'll make more money. And hello friend, how are you? I actually already just went over all of my pet's gear. I'm just now seeing your comments, so I don't know how far into the video you joined. But I will go back over my pet's gear. But yeah, again, all my pets, I'm using gears that are actually kind of okay. This mirror of Janua has intelligence 48, which is the highest intelligence. Intelligence plus 8%. That's really good. This one also has the 8%. I think the magic attack can go up to like 1300 max. This one only has like 879, so I'll probably look for one that has better magic attack on it. Crit power can go up to 40%, and this one has 31.2, so not too bad, but could be better. The magic pierce is like 376, and I think it can go up to like 400 or 440. So again, not too terribly bad, but it could be better. This one has higher M attack. This one gives better crit power. This one also gives max HP. I'd prefer one that gives max MP, and then to put that on to here. But yeah, they're okay. They don't have any. This one has some soul stones in them that give like plus 33 stats, the enhanced teardrops, the cash shop soulstone that I'm going after give like plus 60 to each individual stat. So I could put like 2 int and I could get like 120 intelligence from those 2 soulstones on there. I could also do like 2 that give like crit and get like 120% crit power increase on there. Um, this thing is probably the best thing I own. Plus 23 staff. I bought this here not too long ago. Again, I think I paid around like 250 for it, give or take. Um, it was actually pretty expensive. The awakened bonuses at the top are kind of mill, the PDEF, the magical accuracy, but those random effects are what people pay for. Because those are what actually make a difference. The extra 10 here, the extra 20 here is kind of nice, but not as good as the max intelligence and max critical power and all that fun stuff. That's on my Ethereal Pixie, since my Ethereal Pixie does magic damage and healing. And then I have my Mace for my Wind Pixie, which, again, as I said earlier, it's kind of close to perfect. It's not entirely there. It could be optimized a little bit more, but honestly, if I got this thing to plus 25 and I actually bothered to level it up to like level 40, and I put those enhanced teardrop soulstones in the slots, this thing, its damage, its potential could be just, I mean, honestly, exponentially multiplied. How I put weapon in the right for a pet. Okay, yeah. So once you have the weapon, you'll see this one has that kind of gold border on it. So what you have to do is you go to any merchant, make sure it's like a grocery merchant, it just has to say merchant on it, doesn't matter what town you're in, and then you want to buy a unit card. And then what you do is once you have a unit card in your inventory, you go to enchant, and then you put the weapon in, you put the unit card in, and you enchant, and then you get the weapon is now sealed in the unit card and can then be click and dragged over to your pet. Now your pet does have to be at the level to use it, so if you're trying to use a weapon that's like minimum level like 150 and your pet is like level 100, it won't be able to use it. But as long as your pet is at minimum level, you'll be able to equip it on there. And your pets get passives, depending on what pet it is, where equipping a weapon will increase their stats. Like my Ethereal Pixie, if I equip a staff to it, it gets more magic attack, more intelligence, and more wisdom. My Wind Pixie, if I equip a mace to it, gets like a ton of attack speed. Of course, you have to buy that passive skill, but there's no reason you would never buy it on a pet that you're using. Yeah, if I put a mace on here, it gets a ton of attack speed, more magical attack and physical attack. But depending on what pet it is, it'll get different stats. So anything, the armor you use, you have to use the unit card for. The shield or the mage wall that you're using, you have to use it for. The belt, you have to use it for. The weapon, you use it for. The accessory you use, you have to use it for. These artifacts already come sealed, since this is the only thing that they can be used for. So you don't have to use a unit card for them. You can just put them in. And also, I should mention that my pets are stage 5, so they have all of these unlocked. If you have a non-staged pet, which means that you just tamed it fresh, then it's only going to have like the first 1 or 2 open. And then when you go to stage 1, you'll be able to increase it, and then stage 3, you can increase it, stage 4, stage 5. Every stage that you go up from stage 0 allows you to add 1 extra equip to your pet. So since my pets are stage 5, which is the highest stage, they've unlocked all 7. If your pet is not quite there, then you won't be able to utilize all of them. So yeah, I do hope that helped. explain it. I don't know if your pets are staged or if you just needed the unit card. Yeah, you're talking about these bottom 7 on this row. Unfortunately, on the North American server, since the game has started, these have always been locked. You cannot actually use them. I have been told that apparently in some other countries, other servers, like in Korea, this is a Korean game, that all 14 are actually unlocked and you can use them. But I have been told that they have no plans on unlocking these bottom 7 row for the North American server, which is what I play on. Um, the only reasoning that I've heard for it, apparently, is that the North American server, that we have more people with basically buffs on it, so that we are on average stronger. I don't know if that's actually true. I don't know if that's just some, stuff people made up. But apparently they're saying that's the reason why they have access to all 14 is because that they overall don't have as many buffs and stuff we do, so they need to compensate for it somehow. But it would be nice if they ever reverse that decision and someday allowed us to be able to access all 14. Oh man, we already have so much damage in this game. Literally, we have so much damage in this game that the game cannot calculate the damage and that it actually breaks. There is a pet called Hector. It's one of the 2 tier 7 pets. It's like the pet that like everyone wants but costs like the most money in the game. And Hector does so much damage, especially when you stage him and level him up, that the game actually cannot calculate his damage and will set the damage to 0. How you put 2 weapon in pet? Well, you only get 1 weapon on a pet. You get 1 weapon, you get 1 armor piece, you get 1 mage wall or shield, you get 2 of the artifacts, you get 1 accessory, and then you get 1 belt. You wouldn't put like 2 staffs on there, or 2 axes, or 2 maces, or anything like that. But yeah, what else? Well, I'm talking about all kinds of equipment and enchantment and fun stuff like that. Can I even have both windows up? No, it's going to close one to open the other. Yeah, everything has its place. Also, because of the passives that your pets get, because you have 1 passive, again, for when you have a weapon equipped, that makes it good, but you also have 1 for, like, the mage wall, that will give, like, extra stats. You also have 1 for, like, your basic armor. Even if you could put 2 weapons on there, which you can't, you would be missing out on utilizing these passives, which greatly increase your pet's stats. So, that's why everything has like its own place, and you have the stats for it. You have the passives for each of those pieces. And then plus you get this one, which is pretty nice, which your pet gets X percentage of any equipped item stats. Mine is a stage 5, so mine actually gets 130% of any equipped item stats. So if I were to put like 60 intelligence, a teardrop gives 60 intelligence, I would actually get 130% of that. So a third of 60, 20, I'd get like I'd get like 80 intelligence per teardrop instead of only 60. So if you're level 169 and you want to level up, the easiest way to do it and the quickest way to do it is called the P level service. Basically, there will be people who advertise in chat that they're going to do a P level for people between one level to another, typically in the higher level dungeons and the hardcore versions of dungeons, and effectively You pay them what they're asking, typically like 1 billion or 2 billion or however much, and they, once you have all 8 people in the party, they will summon you to them in a spot where you will not be attacked by monsters, and they will kill stuff with incredible kill speed, and you will just go there and you will leech EXP off of them, and you will level up pretty quick. That is pretty much the premier way of being able to do it, which I understand when you don't have the money to spend on that is not the answer you want to hear. The other answer is that you have to go out and farm what you are capable of being able to farm, and you have to level yourself up. If you have friends you can play with, or if you can shout in chat, hey, I'm level 169 in this class, looking for a duo partner, go into your dungeon. Level 169, you don't want to go do Rhoda. What's before Rhoda? I think there's like the Labyrinth. It's like a level 150, level 160 dungeon. Gonna go to a dungeon teleporter real quick and see what there is. But that's probably the quickest way to level, is just go farm in a dungeon if you have the ability, or go get someone to help you farm in a dungeon if you don't want to play for a key level. Oh yeah, there's also the circus. You could do the first stage of circus, but honestly that's kind of, the circus isn't really the easiest of dungeons to do. But I think you have to do a quest line in the circus before you can even unlock Remains of the Ancient, which is like a level 180, level like 190 dungeon. So I would suggest that you focus on, depending on what class you are, trying to save up and get better gears for you and or your pet, so that you have the ability to go farm in these dungeons and level yourself up. If you get good enough kill speed, you can also use items such as like stamina savers that will prevent you from losing any stamina for like an hour while you're farming. And while you have stamina, every time you kill something, you get like a 100% bonus increase in the amount of experience and job points you're getting, so you level up faster. I wouldn't recommend doing it while you're farming unless your kill speed was honestly just amazing. There's also these growth potions that will increase your EXP and JP gain while you're killing stuff also. So if you're using a stamina saver and the growth potion, that is the quickest way to level. But it's typically better to do that when you're in a full-on dungeon party or P level. Not while you're farming, because your farming kill speed typically won't be as good as a full-on party. Everything that I do on Twitch will be uploaded to YouTube, because I do not pay for Twitch, so my videos only stay on there for 14 days. As y'all have seen, most of my videos have already been deleted from Twitch. I only have a couple videos left on there. YouTube will not do that to you. They stay on there permanent. So this will definitely be uploaded to YouTube. Sorry to hear that you're having lag, but I am glad that you joined us and are asking questions, so that I'm able to answer those for you and help you out. Honestly, I've had to rely on so many people over the years that I've played this game, even from when I started out to when I've just been playing solo since all my friends quit, to answer a bunch of questions for me so that I can learn the game, help me out to do stuff. I definitely get bored of just farming all the time. Like, this game is a grind. Everything you do in this game is a grind. So I like to go out and help people out when I can, share the information that I've learned, go help people with their quests, sometimes find someone who's out doing quests, like a new person who's just joined, and give them a way better pet than what they currently have. Just something. I find it more fun to help people enjoy the game than I do to kind of just feel like a robot AFK farming all the time. Let's see, where is the place? Drop Wind Pixie Tame card. So, okay. The Wind Pixie is a tier 6 pet, which is a unique pet. They have really low drop rates, and the Wind Pixie drop is shared with all the other tier 6 pets. So like the White Dragon, the Death Tyrant, the Snowman, the Wind Pixie, there's like a whole slew of them now. So whenever you get a tier 6 pet to drop, it could be any one of those. The best place to find them is the parallel world. Um, Typically, um, you'll find one empty wind pixie within about every like 5 to 6 runs of doing the parallel world. You get one free run every day, or you can pay 50 million to get 2 additional runs, so 25 mil per additional run. However, you do have to be kind of strong to go into the parallel world. You'll be around like level 170 minimum, maybe level 175 about before you start doing the parallel world. You'll need to make sure that you have good gears. You'll need to make sure that you have good pets with good gears before you start doing them. Other than that, your best bet, honestly, is just farm dungeons. Kill dungeon monsters, kill the dungeon sub-bosses. If you're strong enough, kill the dungeon bosses. They will always drop more loot than the regular field mobs, and they will also drop the rarer loot. They have the better chances of dropping stuff. Now, what you can also do is you can increase your luck stat. Your luck, for every 1 luck you have, you get 0.2% item drop rate. So getting your luck up allows you to not only get more rupee value and more items per every drop, but it also helps you be able to get rare items faster. Now you will have to get a lot of luck before it'll really make a whole lot of difference. An extra 20 or 30 luck here won't do much, but if you're able to get extra hundreds of luck, or even get your luck upwards of like 1,000 at higher levels, then that's good. At lower levels, you're not expected to have more than maybe like a couple hundred luck. At higher levels, if you're farming, you're going to want upwards of like 1,000. Now me, I have low luck because I have actually focused on my other stats to make my kill speed and my tankiness of my pets a lot better. But that's just me personally. Now if you want to tame the pixies, that's going to be in Laxi, that's going to be in the Fairies Woods. You can feel free to try and tame them, but their tame rates are honestly horrible. So unless you have like max level taming and you have taming gears and you have the taming accessories and the, a plus 10 taming card that all help increase the taming chances, the odds are that you're going to fail them unless you have like hundreds of them to spare. Aw, someone messaged me, they like to watch me. At least they said they watch me stream. So, even as low as like level 20, like level 40, it is technically possible to get the tier 6 cards to drop, but their drop rates are going to be so incredibly low that you can't really technically expect to find them. As you get higher level and go to the higher dungeons, the higher level monsters have naturally higher level chances of dropping them, which means that if you're farming in the higher level dungeons, you'll have a better chance of being able to find them. Also a note on that, if you go to the hardcore version of a dungeon, they have higher drop rates as well. Oh, hey, there's the guy that messaged me. Or the person that messaged me. So technically any dungeon could drop them, but the higher the level of the dungeon, the better the chance. And also if you are doing the hardcore version of the dungeon, then that's going to give you a better chance. Oh, that's you. Oh, well, hello. Nice to meet you I would say in person, but like in-game in person, I don't know. There, now I can see you better. That looks kind of cool, you have a little monocle. Yeah, so what level are you, by the way? Um, 157. Honestly, I think Cube Dungeon, the Labyrinth, would be good for you because that's about like level 160, level 170, if I remember correctly. Now, unfortunately, there is no hardcore version of the Labyrinth. Unlike the lower tier dungeons, like the Moonlight Dungeon and the other I'm sorry, my mind's literally gone blank. But yeah, that'd be the best place for you to farm and for you to be able to level up. Once you are able to get to like Rhoda, um, after you go through the Red Spider Circus, which Spider Circus can also drop them, but unfortunately also is an instance dungeon and does therefore not have the hardcore version of the dungeon. Um, Rhoda is like level 180 to like level 190 dungeon. I can't actually even do the hardcore version of that dungeon because my kill speed's not really good enough. I mean, I can do it, it's just my kill speed is so horrible that I'll make way more money staying in the regular version of the dungeon than I will trying to do hardcore. So your best bet is to level up to about like 170, 175. Until you are able to do parallel world and start doing parallel world runs. I'm actually not sure what the minimum level to go in is. It might be lower than that, but because of the bosses that are in there that are really strong, if you and your pets aren't like higher level like that, then you'll die pretty quick. I was taken into the parallel world when I was only maybe around like level 170. I'm not entirely sure, but like my pets back then, of course I had different pets back then and stuff, but like yeah, I got in the way of a boss and like we all just got one shot and it was bad, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this again until I'm like way higher. Yeah, I'm only level 180, which to be fair, high level play is now considered anything over like level 200. So I'm still not even technically considered like a high level player, but like I'm high level enough. But I definitely could be better. Oh yeah, you're welcome. I like getting into a good conversation, trying to help people out. I wish I had a better answer for you. I wish I could say, oh yeah, just go to this one spot. You're, ready to go there and you're ready to do this. But you really need to level up more before you're able to do the stuff that you really need to do. You could, well, I wouldn't recommend it. You could alternatively try to make a new character and put your Death Tyrant on that character and go farm in the earlier dungeons for really good kill speed. Try to go into the hardcore version and try to do it that way. But honestly, the drop rates at the lower dungeons, even in the hardcore versions of like the really low dungeons, aren't the best. I think that focusing on your main and trying to get that leveled up is going to work better. Now, I have not played Beastmaster. I do know that Beastmaster is the most expensive of the three pet classes to be able to like get your gear and everything good. Unfortunately, it is incredibly expensive. I know that the meta, what everyone says is the best thing to do is you need to get a Death Gladiator. You need to get an S5 Death Gladiator, which is going to be probably trillions. Probably not as expensive as Hector, but almost as expensive as Hector. And you're going to want to use that for your transformations, apparently, is what I've heard, because it gives you some of the best stats, makes you stronger. I know that the Wind Pixie is best on the Overlord. I'm making it work pretty well on the Master Breeder. I don't know anything about the Wind Pixie on the Beastmaster. I would like to play a Beastmaster one day, but I'm really trying to focus on my main. Although I would like to play a bunch of other classes too, it just takes away time and money from my main that my main really needs. But yeah, trying to think if there's anything else that I need to include in this video. Oh yeah, so enchanting your gear. I talk a lot about trying to get your gear to plus 25. I haven't told y'all anything about actually doing that. So getting your gear from plus 1 to plus 10, all you have to do is you have to have a, if it's a armor piece, you have to have a defense cube, and if it is a weapon, then you need an offense cube, a strike cube is what they're called, and these things. So the R7, rank 7, can work on rank 7 items. The rank 3 can work on like rank 3 items, all that fun stuff. And these will increase your weapon's enchantment level by 1. You have the Lucky, which can increase it randomly by 1 to 3 levels, and then the Fortune, which can increase it randomly by 1 to 5 levels when being done. Okay, let me do one thing real quick here. And a picture on my phone, because now it's annoying me. One second, people. Yes, hello, and I'll address your comment in just a moment about the reindeer. Um, anyways, as I was saying, distracted me over here. Anyways, so as I was saying, you can increase your enchantment levels by using these cubes. Unfortunately, getting them from plus 1 to plus 10 is guaranteed to work. However, getting them between plus 10 to plus 20, there is a chance it will fail. If it fails, the item will break and it is no longer usable. There is a couple of cash shop items that you can use to either prevent your item from breaking during the combination or to repair it after it is broken so that you can keep going. So if you want to spend your money in the cash shop, you're able to do that to help you get your weapons up. Some people will just get like 100 of like the same weapon that they want, and then they will go through all of them one by one, hoping that one of them will make it to like the plus 20 from plus 10. Once you get to plus 20, to get to plus 25 is also guaranteed. It is no longer RNG based, but in order to do it, you have to have another weapon of the same enchantment level or another armor of the same enchantment level, depending on whether it's an armor or a weapon that you're enchanting, to sacrifice to make it happen. So you have your main slot in your enchantment will be like, let's say your weapon plus 20, weapon plus 20, plus you have to have an item that you buy from the blacksmith, and then it will turn your primary into a plus 21. Then you do it again. You're plus 21 here, plus 21 to sacrifice, plus the item from the blacksmith, plus 22, all the way through plus 25, which is the max enchantment level. Yeah, I actually have a bunch of stuff in my inventory from like over the years. I have actually a bunch of useless stuff in here that I'm probably never going to use or even want to look at. Like, see here, this is just a random weapon I had that ran out of durability. I have another weapon that ran out of durability, so these are broken. These are worthless. I can NPC them. I mean, honestly, they're not really good enough to even really worry about trying to buy cash shop items or restore them. These are some deco items. Well, these help increase your taming chance by 1. You wouldn't actually use it as like a regular weapon when you're out fighting stuff, but you can equip it when you're going to go tame stuff to help give you an extra 1% taming chance. I have a bunch of like random shields and armors and weapons in here. All these ones that are red are ones that I was trying to enchant that broke while enchanting, so now they're worthless, they're garbage. All the ones that are grayed out are ones that I can't use, either because they're not compatible with my class or because I'm not high enough level for them. These were all just not for my class. I have some belts in here. I have different rings where I was awakening them, trying to get the perfect awakening on there. Like this one only gives +3 to creature. or no, +1 to creature mastery, +2 to creature taming. Basically just failed awakenings until I found the ones that I actually was going to use. A bunch of like random items I found from drops. Some extra bags for carrying stuff, which are worse than the one I'm already currently using. I have all of my pet cards, all of my empty pet cards. I have some tamed pets in here that I'm never going to use. I have a stage 1 poultry. I have a stage 5 tortoise. Yes, you have definitely been acknowledged. I'm glad to see you on here. Yeah, I have a bunch of stuff in here. I'm using 640 slots out of 1,000 slots, so once I put 640 different, 360 different items in here, then my warehouse will be full again, and I'll have to start just like going and selling all my stuff at an NPC for like almost no money to get rid of the space. Also from the last time that I showed you, I now got rid of my crystal golem, and now instead of having just the pink pixie right here, I also have my new wind pixie, the yellow pixie. That person has one too because they're pretty popular. And this yellow pixie is a flying machine gun. It is amazing. It attacks incredibly fast. It attacks incredibly hard. And yes, this is my reindeer. I'm going to show y'all something kind of cool and kind of creepy. So this is just, it's deco equipment that you put on your character. So it's just a mask. If I zoom into my character enough, you can actually see their face wearing the mask, which I think is kind of a cool feature. He's got that little bell on the chain going on. This like Santa patch, and then I have like a deco cloak that's kind of covering the back of this thing, but if I take my cloak off, yeah. Well, now I have my, I don't know. It's weird sometimes. That's what the back of it's supposed to look like. I have the antlers there. Put my cloaks back on though. They give me a little bit of stats. If I can find them in my inventory. I'm trying to get my regular cloak before I put my deco cloak back on. There we go. And as I mentioned before, this deco cloak came from an event. It's not possible to trade it or to sell it to other people. Back when Bora took over the game, they had an event where if you killed monsters, you had a chance of finding a token. And when you traded in the tokens to an NPC, you could get one of like a bunch of items. And like the deco cloak had one of like the lowest, actually probably had the lowest rate possible to get. And I saved up like hundreds and traded in like a good 500-600 at a time, and was able to get one cloak out of like the ultimately like thousands of tokens that I turned in. And then I got a deco shield. Yeah, I was really just kind of going over the equipment in this video. I've been farming a lot today. I've done enough farming. Other than that, again, if y'all have any questions, just feel free to comment, and I will just kind of go from there on my content. Other than that, I'm kind of just running around town, just kind of doing nothing, killing time. Mostly just because I can. Or actually, did I have some stuff I needed to donate? No, I already did my donating earlier. Well, only other thing I got to do, I guess, is go farm. Is there anything else I can think of as far as equipment goes? Oh, not kind of a... I'll throw it in here since it's a video about equipment. There's now also these things called emblems that can give you extra stats when you equip them and after you awaken them, and you can also put a skill on them. So I got potency for me, and I also got like some crit rate and move speed and agility and all that fun stuff. The awakened stats I got from it for me honestly aren't the best. Honestly, if I'd gotten more intelligence and more crit power, more strength, that would have been better for me, just because of my class. But the potency is really the selling point on it. Okay, well, I'm just gonna go back to farming. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here. I've been farming for a lot today. I'm gonna keep farming because I need more money if I'm going to keep trying to improve my gears. If y'all have any questions, this is being uploaded to my YouTube, so when y'all see this on YouTube, if there's any questions about the equipment, the gear, the accessories, how you put them on your pets, anything like that that y'all still have questions on, or that I didn't cover that well, please feel free to comment. I enjoy being able to interact with the community, trying to help out however I can. So I will see y'all next time.